Joined to serve my country, to keep our nation free. When I came back home and they gave me back my name, I came looking for some peace, but all I found was pain. When you share your story, you stop carrying it all alone. From an early age, I knew the military was going to be a part of my life. My grandfather served, my father served, and they both were in the same engineering unit, the National Guard unit that I joined into. You know, got out of the military in 2001 after doing 8 years, and then 9/11 happened, and so I re-enlisted. We got a trip to Iraq in 2003. It was a pretty terrible experience. It was miserable. And that never really left me. How do they expect a man see the things that I have come back and be the same? I got home and it wouldn't turn off. I had a lot of guilt, shame from some of the intrusive thoughts. I had been a songwriter my whole life, and when I got home, I couldn't write a song. Most of the things I loved, I didn't want to touch them. I remember I looked in the mirror and I realized that my anger outbursts and my flashbacks and drinking, was endangering my family. So in the spring of 2008, I wanted to end it all. I figured I'd eliminate the threat. For some reason, once PTSD tried to kill me, then I couldn't make any excuses. That was when I threw myself into healing. Finally was able to put that experience in a song. Sharing the story, needing to talk about it, but also knowing that talking about it triggers the memories, which trigger the PTSD. So how do we get to this point where we can get it out of us, but also not destroy ourselves talking about it? Somewhere between lost and alone, trying to find my way home. The music is one way for the veterans to put their stuff into a story that they control, the art, and then they can stand behind it. In therapy, you got to say, it was February 2nd and we were there. In art, you can just say, this experience made me feel yucky, and that's enough, if that's all they can say. And then the next time they can say, I feel yucky because. One of the worst stigmas, I think, it's just hard to ask for help. You want to be strong. I just was trained not to ask for help. So what I do in my work, and with being honest about my substance abuse and my suicide attempts, is I make it okay for other veterans to get help. They always say that I give them voice, but that's not, they have a voice, they just lose their voice. So we say we just move the microphone a little closer to where they're standing. That PTSD is a real injury. That's the stigma, is that it's somehow like just something you're doing in your brain. And people will actually come up and say, have you tried not thinking about it? And it's just so frustrating because I can't not think about it. That's the nature of the disease, is that memories just shoot into my brain in the middle of a nice walk in the park. And I thought I was the only one that was having this experience. And then all of a sudden I realized, no, 1 out of 4 veterans are coming home feeling like this. So I'm doing well, I'm not doing great. One day at a time. It's okay not to be okay. Sweet magnolias blooming, your memory I can't erase. I think one of my most profound shows, it's supposed to be a big show, but only one person showed up. So I gave this guy his own personal show, and a year and a half later I get an email, and he's getting married, he's finished his first semester of school, and that moment when I gave him that personal show was the moment that he realized someone else cared about him. Yeah, that's what keeps me going, is hearing those stories, helping other veterans tell their story, so it's not just my story anymore. You have to learn to carry it if you want to make it home. When you share your story, you stop carrying it alone. Thank you guys. Thanks for the